Is fasting as magical as they say it is? Tune into this video to find out. And if this video helps you in any way, or you're looking more ways to simplify the process of fat loss by hacking your biology, click that subscribe button, tap that bell icon to be notified when we release new videos, and click that like button as well. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on? My name is Sky. I'm the founder of Schuyfit, where we help men optimize their biology to burn fat, build muscle, and get in the best shape of their life. And we do this without all of the annoying stuff, without the counting calories, without the restrictive dieting and saying no to foods, and without spending a ridiculous amount of time at the gym. And what's cool is we actually use the strategy of fasting, which is what we're going to talk about today. Now, to pre-frame this, I have been a fan of fasting for a while, and I'm continuously researching and studying about it, and every single week it feels like I find out something new about fasting that blows my mind. But of course, just like anything else, in order to see some of the effects we're going to talk about today, you have to be doing it right. You know, I approach fasting with the wise man's mindset, which is the wise man knows that the wise man knows nothing. And so while I'm continuously researching, I do understand that there are ways to do fasting very wrong, and there are ways to crush it and to kind of do it in a very smooth way. And so if you're interested in learning how to fast, go to the link in the description of this video. We have a free training there that's going to walk you through the process of fasting and how you can use it to see incredible fat loss results. With that being said, let's get into the video. So the first portion of fasting is going to be the physical benefits. Now, number one here is a reduction in acne. You know, to me, fasting is an awesome way to clear out toxins, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but there's actually studies that have found a strong relationship between a fasting type diet and acne in human adults and young subjects. And in fact, during the period of caloric restriction, sebum levels was found to be reduced by 40%, which influenced the degree of acne severity. Now, sebum is an oily, waxy substance, and it's produced by your body's sebaceous glands. And so, you know, growing up, thankfully, I never experienced really bad acne, but I knew a bunch of people who did. And to be able to look at the source of this acne being diet and understand that fasting is going to allow to push that out, it's just one massive benefit, right? It's probably not the reason that you should start fasting, but it may be a nice touch if you do have acne. Benefit number two here is fat loss. Now, if we look at this from a very logical standpoint, if you're fasting and fat loss is all about calories in versus calories out, fasting is going to reduce the amount of calories in, and it's actually going to benefit the amount of calories out as well. And so there's been a large compilation of intermittent fasting, long-term fasts, and its impact on weight loss. And a compilation of 27 fasting trials found weight loss of 0.8% to 13% of baseline weight with no serious adverse events. And then 12 studies comparing intermittent fasting to calorie restriction found equivalent results. Now that's a lot, because if you're 250 pounds, that's anywhere from 20 to 32.5 pounds, which is incredible. Reason number three I love fasting is that it controls blood sugar. Now, if you are a type 2 diabetic, fasting is just going to be one of a couple different resources that are going to be really, really powerful with helping maintain your blood sugar. And so I personally worked with a couple who were both diabetic, type 2, and through implementing fasting, they were actually able to drop their A1C from, I believe it was above 6 down to below 4, which is a really, really incredible leap. And so the research shows that short-term daily fasting may be a safe, tolerable dietary intervention in type 2 diabetic patients that may improve key outcomes, including body weight, fasting glucose, and postprandial variability. So if you think about diabetes coming from a standpoint of just a wacky blood sugar and really getting hit hard when you do consume food, if you don't consume food, your body's going to have the chance to regulate that blood sugar and regulate that insulin, which is going to be awesome. Reason number four I love fasting is it decreases inflammation. Now, there's kind of 3 in 1 separate things here. So inflammation is very prevalent in heart disease, it's very prevalent in cancer, and it's very prevalent in diabetes as well as a lot of other things that this contributes to. And so what most of my clients experience when they first start to implement fasting is they drop a lot of weight very quickly. And while a lot of them are like, yes, this is body fat, even though it kind of looks like it too, because you'll see a very distinct physical change very quickly, a lot of the times the weight they're losing is inflammation. You know, we live in a world where our diets are very widely comprised of foods that create inflammation, and a lot of us, when we implement this fasting, it gives our body a chance to detox and to get rid of some of this inflammation. So the study shows fasting improves inflammatory diseases without compromising antimicrobial immunity. So another win here. Reason number 5 I love fasting is because of the detoxification and cell repair. Now, I alluded to this when I was talking about acne, is if your body doesn't have to work on digesting food, there's a good chance that the energy that it would normally use for that can go to other areas, such as pushing out toxins, which we would call detoxification. There's also a term called autophagy, where when you reach a certain length of a fast, if you do it the right way, your body starts to kill these old cells and recycle them to create new, more healthy cells. And if we go to the research, of course, we love what we see. We conclude that both fasting and CR have a role in the upregulation of autophagy, the evidence overwhelmingly suggesting that autophagy is induced in a wide variety of tissues and organs in response to food deprivation. And we love to see it, right? We're living in a society where cleaning products, healthcare products, food, air, pretty much everything surrounding us is comprised of toxins. And so being able to give our body a chance to push this stuff out is going to be a massive win on our journey to health. Reason number 6 I love fasting is the incredible impact it has on your hormones, and specifically here we're going to talk about growth hormone. Now, growth hormone is one of those hormones that we want more of. It helps with testosterone, it helps with muscle performance, helps with metabolism, with aging. And what studies have found is that a 3-day fast, if done correctly, can raise growth hormone by 300%, and a 7-day fast can raise growth hormone by 1,250%. Now, that is mind-blowing to me. Right, if we're looking at a lot of people out there who suffer from low testosterone, who suffer from low energy, low metabolism, having that massive spike of growth hormone is going to be an awesome opportunity to just reset the body, potentially build more muscle if done right, and just feel better in general. Reason number 7 I love fasting is the longevity aspect. So if we look at this, our body's going to expend a certain amount of energy to digest food. Eventually that energy is going to pile on, it's going to tax the heart and potentially cause us to die younger. Whereas on the reverse end, if we're not consuming food and our body has more energy in reserve, we now have the ability to potentially live longer, which is a huge plus. And so the research backs it up. The mean lifespan of the EOD group, which is the every other day, so eat fast, represented an 83% increase over that of the AL group. And so basically what that means is they lived 83% longer fasting every other day. Now, this was an animal study, but I absolutely believe that this was true for humans too, 100%. And so as research comes out, we're going to find this to be true, but the animal studies are starting to back it up. Reason number 8 I love fasting is better sleep. So there's a couple key components here of why this is true. If we look at this from a very logical standpoint, if you're asleep and your body has to digest food, more of that energy is going to go into digestion than it is recovering. And so if you are fasting, you're most likely not eating closer to bed, which is allowing your body to repair. So the studies show that subjective sleep ratings showed a fasting-induced increase in global quality of sleep, daytime concentration, vigor, and emotional balance. So we're going a little bit further than sleep there, which is totally okay with me. And then what we've also found is that if you fast correctly and you break your fast at breakfast, it actually allows your circadian rhythm to adjust. So if you're traveling across the world to a different time zone and say it's 12 p.m. by you and it's 12 a.m. there, if you wait to have breakfast until it's, say, 7, 8 a.m. over in that country, your body's actually going to be doing a better job at adjusting that circadian rhythm to have more energy during the day and to sleep better at night. Reason 9 I love fasting is improved immune health. Now, there's a lot of studies coming out about this, but what the research is showing is that fasting for at least 3 days, so an extended fast, allows the body to start producing new white blood cells, which rejuvenates the immune system to fight infection. Now, that's massive for me. I mean, we're all about immune health, especially with everything going on in the world, but a 3-day fast for immune health sounds fantastic. And reason number 10, and the final physical reason of why I love fasting, is improved gut health. Now, I can make a video all on gut health, and I'm sure I will, so make sure you tap that subscribe button if you haven't already. But the gut is interconnected with pretty much everything in our lives. It's interconnected with our mental health, our physical health, metabolism, hormones, mood, so much more. And so what the research is showing is that fasting also increased microbial richness, which is a number of different species in the microbiome, and diversity, which is how diverse and evenly spread out species are, and to increase levels of the beneficial SCFA, short-chain fatty acid, butyrate, which is great for gut health in general. It's one of the things in grass-fed butter. So what we'll find today as a society is because a lot of these artificial sweeteners, because a lot of the more starchy foods, the high carbs, a lot of people have very damaged gut health. And so fasting is a great way to improve that gut health without buying all these expensive supplements. So that's the physical side of things. Let's just briefly talk about the mental side. So number 1, this one kind of logical. So fasting is going to allow you to have more self-control around food. Right? If you've eaten 3 meals a day for 20 years or 40 years or however long, if you implement a 24 or even less, right? 16, 18, 24, potentially longer, 36, 48 hour fast, and you do that consistently and successfully, you're just going to teach your body and your mind that you don't have to eat every time you're hungry. right? While you can make this simple and you're not going to be starving the whole duration of 36 or 48 hours, you still will experience some sort of hunger, especially while your body's adapting. So being able to just say no and teach yourself that you don't have to eat every time you're hungry is going to be a massive advantage that's going to transfer over to other parts of your life. The second mental reason I love fasting is that it boosts your mood. You know, I have a client, Lance, who he tried his first 24-hour fast, first time ever, and he said he felt incredible, and the clarity he had was unbelievable. And so there's been studies done. There was a total of 31 subjects in this particular study, and they found that significant decreases in tension, anger, confusion, and total mood disturbance, and improvements in vigor were observed in the fasting group controlled compared to the control group. That sounds like it's a win to me. You know, fasting is going to improve your mood. Most people think you'll be grumpy, but again, if you do it right, it's the opposite. And then mental reason number 3 I love fasting is it also boosts your brain function. So studies found that fasting improves cognition, stalls age-related cognitive decline, usually slows neurodegeneration, reduces brain damage, and enhances functional recovery after stroke, and mitigates the pathological and clinical features of epilepsy and multiple sclerosis in animal models. Now, in a world where a lot of people have been consuming things that are low-fat and not getting the essential brain nutrients they need, this is going to be an awesome advantage, aside from supplementation, to make sure that your brain function and brain health is still at an optimal level. So those are my reasons. Man, I could dive into so much, just how good I feel on fasting, what it does for my fat loss, for maintaining muscle, for really everything in my life. But of course, as with everything else, it has to be done right. So if you are interested in learning more about fasting, check the link in the description of this video for that free training. We're going to walk you through it in there. And then if we have an opportunity to work together, that will also be presented to you. Besides that, I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon. Give me a like on this video, just continuing to provide more content for you. And let me know if you need anything else. So I'd love if you could leave me a comment below with your experience with fasting if you've tried it. But other than that, I appreciate you a ton. Keep crushing it. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.